A 67-year-old man sat across from me, shoulders slumped, eyes glossy and not from pain. "Doc," he whispered, "I think I've lost it. For good." He wasn't talking about his memory or mobility. He was talking about his manhood. You could feel the weight in the room, decades of quiet frustration, unspoken embarrassment, and silent questions no one had ever answered for him. But here's the twist. What turned things around for him wasn't some expensive medication or a risky surgery. It was 3 simple, natural vitamins most men over 60 never even think about, and the truth, it's not too late. In fact, this stage of life can be a powerful new chapter if you give your body what it's quietly asking for. Today, I'll show you the 3 essential vitamins every man over 60 needs to support energy, erections, and lasting vitality naturally, and with dignity. So stay with me, because what you'll hear next might just surprise you and restore something you thought was gone. Why this topic matters more after 60, but I'll say it plainly. Many men over 60 wake up each day feeling a little less like themselves, less energy, less interest in intimacy, and when they look in the mirror, they see a strong man, yes, but also a man who's quietly wondering, is this just how it's going to be now? If that sounds like you, let me tell you something I wish more men heard. This decline isn't your fault. It's not a weakness, it's not laziness, it's biology. After 60, your testosterone naturally dips, blood vessels stiffen, nerve sensitivity dulls, your prostate may swell, even your brain chemistry shifts. It's the body's way of aging, not quitting, just changing. But here's the good news. These changes aren't a dead end. They're a signal, a call for you to support your body in a new way. That's why this conversation matters. Because too many men over 60 suffer in silence, buying gimmicks, swallowing pills that treat symptoms, but never addressing the root. And more importantly, too many stop believing in themselves. I'm here to help change that. Not with hype, not with false hope, but with something real, natural solutions that restore your dignity, your vitality, and yes, your performance, because the truth is, your best days aren't behind you. They're just waiting for you to meet them halfway, and it starts with understanding what your body's missing. Let's begin with the first essential vitamin, in one that could change your blood flow in ways you haven't felt in years. Meet the surgeon personal story. Let me take a moment to share something personal with you, because behind every white coat there's a story, and mine might not be what you expect. When I first started out as a surgeon, I was trained to fix things. If something broke, I repaired it. If blood didn't flow, I cleared the blockage. If a man couldn't perform, I implanted a device. I spent years in operating rooms, performing penile implants, treating complex erectile disorders, and helping men regain what they'd lost. And while many of those procedures changed lives, something was missing, because time after time, these men would return not with surgical problems, but with deeper questions. Why is my energy still so low? Why don't I wake up with morning wood anymore? Why do I feel like less of a man, even after the surgery? That's when it hit me. We weren't addressing the roots. We were putting patches on problems that started way deeper in hormones, blood flow, nerve health, stress, and nutrition. I began asking different questions. I started looking at what men were putting or not putting into their bodies, and I found something startling. Most men over 60 are severely deficient in the very nutrients that support their performance. And no one was talking about it. That's when my mission changed. I still do surgeries, yes, but my heart is in helping men prevent the need for them, helping you feel alive again, powerful again, present again. Because you deserve more than prescriptions. You deserve answers and a path forward that's grounded in truth, not trends. And that path starts with the first essential vitamin, in the one I call the oxygenator. The hidden crisis. Why erections fade after 60. Let's face a hard truth. Something shifts in your body after 60, and most men don't realize exactly what's happening until it's already taken root. Here's the simple truth. Erections weaken not because you're lazy or weak, but because your plumbing and fuel supply aren't working together like they used to. Picture your erection as a classic car engine. Two things matter most: fuel, blood flow, and spark signal and hormonal drive. As we age, both of these slowly lose power, and it's usually silent and gradual. Blood flow fades because nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels, drops dramatically after 60. Less nitric oxide means narrower vessels, less circulation, and yes, weaker erections. Hormonal signals dim, testosterone steadily declines, which can dull libido and the body's natural on switch. Feeling less inclined, less responsive, less alive. Oxidative stress builds daily wear and tear, increases inflammation. Free radicals damage vessels, nerves, and tissues, making it harder for your system to work the way it should. Did you know? By age 60, your body produces about 50% less nitric oxide compared to your 30s. That same drop can shrink testosterone by 25% within a few years. So it's no wonder many men say, "I still feel young at heart, but my body isn't responding." That mismatch between mind and body. It can feel like a betrayal, and that frustration, if left unchecked, begins to shape how a man views himself in the mirror, with his partner, in the bedroom. Here's the empowering twist: all of these changes are reversible, or at least very tunable, through nutrition and targeted vitamins that support blood vessels, hormones, and cellular repair. What if I told you that 3 common vitamins, the oxygenator, the hormone helper, and the cellular shield, could work in harmony to rebuild your engine from the inside out? In the next section, we'll begin with the first one, the oxygenator. Vitamin B3 niacin, the nutrient that helps reopen your blood vessels and bring lifeblood quite literally back into the drive. And trust me, once you understand this first step, the rest suddenly makes sense. Vitamin 1, the oxygenator. Let's start with something simple. But don't mistake simple for unimportant. Vitamin B3, also known as niacin, might just be the unsung hero of male vitality over 60. I call it the oxygenator. Why? Because this one vitamin plays a direct role in opening up your blood vessels and helping oxygen. Rich blood flow exactly where it needs to go, especially down there. Let me tell you about Robert, 72 years old, retired Army officer, proud grandfather of 4. He came to me after months of not feeling like himself. He said, "Doc, I'm not asking to be 25 again. I just want to feel a little fire, some life in my mornings again." We ran a simple blood panel. His testosterone was okay, but his circulation markers, poor. So we started small. We added niacin into his routine. Within 6 weeks, Robert told me something I'll never forget. "It's like my body remembers how to respond again. My morning wood is back," and it actually woke me up. You see, niacin boosts nitric oxide, the very molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand. That means better blood flow not only to your brain and heart, but to your most personal parts too. It also lowers LDL cholesterol, improves vascular health, and even supports energy production in your mitochondria, your body's power stations. Now here's the key. You can get niacin from foods like turkey, peanuts, tuna, and mushrooms. But to feel the effects, especially at our age, most men need a supplemental boost. Start with 100 mg of flush, free niacin daily, and track how your body responds. And yes, always consult your physician first. The best part? It's not a stimulant. It's not artificial. It's just helping your body remember what it used to do naturally. And that's only the beginning, because next, we'll talk about the second essential vitamin, in the one I call the hormone helper. If niacin restores your engine's fuel lines, this next one turns the key. Vitamin 2, the hormone helper. Now let's talk about something that almost every man over 60 is missing, and yet almost no one connects it to erections, drive, or even mood. I'm talking about vitamin D3, or as I call it, the hormone helper. You might be thinking, isn't that just for bones? That's what most people believe, but here's the truth. Vitamin D3 is not just a vitamin, and it functions like a hormone. And it has a direct hand in testosterone production, libido, stamina, and even mental sharpness. Let me give you a real example. Dennis, 65, recently retired, used to love gardening. He came in saying, "Doc, I've got no fire. I'm sleeping okay, I'm eating clean. But something's just off, no energy, no desire, just a dullness." We tested his blood levels. His testosterone was borderline, but his vitamin D was critically low. Less than 20 ng/ml, when the optimal level for performance and vitality is 50 or higher. We started him on 5-0-0-0 of vitamin D3 daily, paired with vitamin K2 to help it absorb properly and protect his arteries. And over the next 2 months, he felt the cloud lift. He started flirting with his wife again. His energy came back. His testosterone climbed without a single injection. Here's what you need to know. Your body produces vitamin D from sunlight, but after 60, skin becomes less efficient. If you're indoors most days, or you live in a place with long winters, your levels are likely far too low. And low vitamin D means lower testosterone, weaker erections, and less desire even if everything else seems fine. The good news, this is easy to fix. Get 15-20 minutes of sunlight on your bare skin when possible. Supplement with 2-0-0-0-5-0-0-I.
The same white powder you use to freshen your fridge could quietly support your strength, stamina, and confidence in the bedroom. What if something as ordinary as baking soda, the same white powder you use to freshen your fridge, could quietly support your strength, stamina, and confidence in the bedroom?
The Cellular Shield. And here's where most men get it wrong. Vitamin 3, the Cellular Shield. Most men have heard of vitamin E. But what they don't know is that they've likely been taking the wrong kind for years. Let me explain.
The same white powder you use to freshen your fridge could quietly support your strength, stamina, and confidence in the bedroom. What if something as ordinary as baking soda, the same white powder you use to freshen your fridge, could quietly support your strength?
I'm talking about tocotrienols, the lesser known siblings of vitamin E, and what I call the Cellular Shield. Why? Because they do what most vitamins can't. Repair oxidative damage to blood vessels, improve sperm quality, and testicular function, support nerve health. So signals between your brain and body stay strong and even help your prostate stay calm and less inflamed. I once worked with an 80-year-old former smoker named George. He hadn't had a solid erection in years and frankly had accepted that part of life was over. But he came to me because his energy was dropping fast and his circulation wasn't keeping up. Instead of going straight to medication, we started with tocotrienol, rich vitamin E, paired with a healthy diet and walking 30 minutes daily. Within 90 days, not only did his blood flow improve, but something else surprised him. "Doc," he said, "I woke up with one, and I didn't think I'd ever say that again." Here's what you need to know. Tocotrienols are found in palm oil, rice bran, barley, and wheat germ, but in very small amounts. Most men benefit from a supplement that includes mixed tocopherols, and tocotrienols avoid synthetic E-labeled DL-alpha. That's the weak version. This form of vitamin E doesn't just protect your body, it renews it at the cellular level, supporting blood flow, hormones, and reproductive tissues from the inside out. Together with vitamin B3 and D3, it completes a natural triad fueling your performance, protecting your vessels, and reawakening vitality you may have thought was gone. But here's where the magic really happens, when you combine all three. The power of synergy. Now that we've explored each vitamin in B3 for blood flow, D3 for hormones, and E for cellular protection, let's talk about what happens when you bring them together. You see, the body isn't a machine with isolated parts. It's a system, and every system works better when the parts support each other. Think of it like tuning a classic car. Vitamin B3 opens the fuel lines and allows blood to flow freely. Vitamin D3 fires up the spark, helping your body naturally produce testosterone and energy. Vitamin E, especially tocotrienols, protects the entire engine, keeping your vessels, nerves, and reproductive tissues running smooth and strong. One vitamin alone can do a lot, but together, they create what I call a performance triangle, a foundation for energy, confidence, and sexual vitality that's far more powerful than any pill or pump. And here's the best part: they don't stimulate your body, they support it. They're not forcing function, they're restoring it. I've seen men in their late 60s, 70s, even 80s rediscover morning wood, drive, and confidence simply by giving their body the natural inputs it had been silently craving. And no, it's not overnight. This isn't a magic fix, but it's real, and it's something you can build on day by day, week by week, with food, movement, rest, and the right supplements working together. So if you've been wondering where to start here. Start with Synergy, and let your body show you what it can still do when given the tools it's been missing. Next, I want to leave you with something personal. A story and a truth that I believe every man over 60 needs to hear before giving up on himself. Here is the final section of your script. Final words becoming the man you still are. Let me take you back to the man I mentioned at the very beginning, the 67-year-old who walked into my clinic with tears in his eyes. He thought his manhood was gone, not just physically, but emotionally. He said something I'll never forget: "I don't feel like me anymore." And that's what this is really about, isn't it? It's not just about sex. It's about identity, about waking up in the morning and feeling alive, purposeful, strong, connected to your body, your partner, your sense of self. We gave that man no injections, no surgeries, just a personalized plan, a bit more walking, better sleep, and yes, those 3 essential vitamins. 3 nutrients that worked like quiet allies inside him, rebuilding blood flow, sparking hormone function, and restoring cellular health. 3 months later, he came back not just walking taller, but smiling. "Doc, I didn't think I had this much life left in me." And I told him the same thing I'll tell you now. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You are in a new chapter, and this chapter can be one of growth, strength, and yes, joy, because here's the truth: the male body is always shifting, but you still have choices. You still have control, and most importantly, you still have time. Start simple. Start with awareness. Start with these 3 vitamins that fuel energy, erections, and vitality naturally, safely, and with dignity. You don't need to become someone new. You just need to become more of the man you already are, the man that time hasn't taken, just dimmed. And now, it's time to turn that light back on.
Powder you use to